everybody! I'm back with another book review. I've read more books. Surprise, surprise. I read books. So the first book I'm going to review in cold blood is a true crime, I'm going to say novel. It's not non-fiction, but it's also not fiction. It's somewhere in between. There's some speculation involved that makes it not truly non-fiction, in my opinion. I guess it could be considered non-fiction because it is based on true events and it tries to stay very close to true events, but there's some fictionalized pieces in there. However, highly enjoyed it. Highly recommend. I thought it was very fun. If you like Crime Junkie or Park Predators or any of those other true crime podcasts, you might enjoy this book. It's written very, very well. It's written by a friend. Who's the friend? Is it Harper Lee's friend? So the book follows the true crime events of the Clutter family in Halcombe, Kansas. It's written by Truman Capote. And yes, it was Harper Lee. And so Truman Capote and Harper Lee went to Halcombe, Kansas to see the town and to sort of research this true crime of this brutal murder of an entire family. And this book follows the detail of the town, an introduction to the family, and then it takes you step by step through the investigation and the trial. And I thought it was very interesting. I absolutely loved it, and I'm hoping to read more true crime novels in the future. So I give this one a 5 out of 5. Really enjoyed it. The next book is Ender's Game by Orson Scott Card, and it's considered an unputdownable science fiction book. It's essentially about this society in which there are buggers, who are aliens, and the human race. And the human race are in intergalactic battle with the buggers. And children are monitored, and if they fit the kind of standard necessary for warfare, they're shipped into space. This 6-year-old is shipped into space to learn how to become a war captain. Fights some battles, does some things. It's wild. And sometimes you're reading it and you're like, this kid isn't 6. There's no way this kid is 6. But apparently, he is. The book was written in 1986, and I think that kind of has something to do with the topics of war, the military, the grooming of children, how we bring up children, what children are capable of, what humans are capable of, and that sort of thing. And it raises a lot of questions on morality and ethics, but it's also for young adults. At least that's what it's geared for. I think anyone can read this book. I really do. It was really interesting. I read the next one. It's not as good. I'm not gonna lie. I like Ender's Game as a standalone, only the one book. The rest of the series kind of gets jumbled up. So for the book itself, I give it a 4 out of 5 because no 6-year-old acts like that. For the series as a whole, I give it a 2 out of 5. But I do recommend reading the first book. It's really interesting, and I think a lot of people will enjoy it, especially if you like science fiction. And the final book that I'm going to talk about today is Cutting for Stone by Abraham Verghese. It takes place in Africa, in Ethiopia, and then it talks about India as well. It goes back and forth. And essentially it's about this family who are doctors, and it follows 2 generations of this family. The parents who come over and settle, one of them is a nun, the other one is a doctor. They have a practice, they help people, things happen, they have twins. Tragedy strikes. I'm trying not to give anything away. And the twins grow up, and as they grow up, they start as inseparable and they slowly drift apart. And this whole story is essentially about what makes you an individual when you're seen as part of a collective. And I think it's really interesting. It goes a lot into medical procedures, so if you're a little bit squeamish, maybe skip this one. I thought it was fascinating. I would recommend it to most readers. If you're squeamish, I wouldn't recommend it. And it is a little bit higher of a brain power book. You have to be invested in it to fully understand. You can't read it and kind of zone out. You know those books. But overall, I really enjoyed it. I don't have much to say about it because I think it's something that you'd have to read for yourself. The language is beautiful, the descriptions are beautiful and horrifying, and the events that happen are just so mind-boggling that it really makes you feel for the characters. Every single one of them, even the ones that you kind of want to hate, you still feel a shred of sympathy for them, which makes it all the more upsetting when something terrible happens. So I highly recommend. I would give this book a 4 out of 5. If you've read any of these books and you have differing opinions, or if you just like to talk about it, leave it in the comments below and let me know what you're reading right now, because I'm always looking for more books. And I will see you guys next time. Bye!